Okay, so I just had finished up. Reading this letter here, dated April 1st, talking about how I was in distress because I was being asked to leave the shelter while fluxes in time were happening. See, the director of the men's shelter had told me in a package before a deadlock and a flux in time that no one is being asked to leave. And then we were deadlocked and a flux in time happened, and we had received word that this stay-at-home orders were going to end by this date, therefore we can ask you to leave by this date, which yet wasn't reasonable. But, and then we were deadlocked, and then a flux in time happened, and then with this flux in time, the stay-at-home orders ended at another date, and therefore we could ask you to leave by this date, which yet wasn't reasonable. Once the stay-at-home orders end, there yet needs to be more time to get into housing. So I finished up this letter, and this is the next letter in the series of letters that I began. Okay, so Dear Governor, First Lady President, First Lady, Mayor, etc., Dwayne Scott. These are board members and other people, staff members at the Refuge of Hope shelter. Okay. We have been experiencing a phenomenon that we may call unusual, or perhaps even paranormal, here at the Refuge of Hope shelter located in Canton, Ohio. We have had several meetings that have been ellipted with fluxes in time. It would be natural to have formal meetings with those who live here at the shelter as a group about the coronavirus and the precautionary measures we should make. See, we had a formal meeting about, receiving these stay-at-home letters, and then we had a big formal meeting, and that's very natural to do. In this meeting we were formed, these are the stay-at-home orders, this is what the letter says, et cetera, et cetera. We were deadlocked, and the meeting was ellipted. It was as if it didn't even happen. Later I asked staff members about it. They said, we've never had such meetings. No. And I was in distress. I was like, no, we just had a meeting. Okay, so I had to write these letters. All right. Okay, we have had formal meetings to inform us about these things. But when I have asked various staff members about the meetings, I remember, they seem to tell me that they don't remember them, nor seem to have the informative letters from the government. We were read these letters at these meetings that seem to have been ellipted, but later they don't seem to find them. They don't seem to find the very letters when I've asked about them. Can I read this letter, stay-at-home order letter? We can't find it. Isn't that interesting? It could be that the letters that were posted on the wall so that those who stay here could easily reread them have mysteriously disappeared. I have been in distress because I have been uncertain about how long I may stay here. An opportunity to find and lease an apartment. I'm uncertain about the opportunity I have to find and lease an apartment. I also have been in distress because there is a phenomenon going on with our minds. Okay, this I've made a photocopy, and this is written on the next line here. Okay, I have to make another photocopy. Okay. I would like to bring to your attention the Sphinx from the NvrEndg Story. Ching. As you can see, she has a turkey who is sitting vigilantly with her mind. You cannot think of that. You cannot remember that. We may consider this metaphoric of a bad person, a turkey in the heavenly plains. Her body is in a spiritual substance that has a property. It has a property that has to do with the mind. She has been speaking bad words that affect memory and opportunity to think about things. What is fascinating is that a part of the movie, The NvrEndg Story, has been altered. There are a few scenes missing. It's a drawing of the Earth, and the pole, the North Pole, South Pole, and Polaris, the North Star. The Ivory Tower. The Ivory Tower has to do with the North Star. See, North Star, Ivory Tower. This has to do with this. And here's the Sphinx in the mirror at the South Pole. What used to be in the movie, but has been ellipted with a flux in time, are two more sets of Sphinx. See, here's the set of Sphinx that Atreya runs through. They try to shoot him with laser beams, but he surpasses the threshold, and then he goes through the magic mirror gate. Okay, and on the other side is the blue set of Sphinx, where the oracle tells him, you know, the childlike empress needs a new name. These have turkeys sitting on their heads. In cross, there's another set of Sphinx with cranes on their heads. In cross with the Sphinx that have turkeys sitting with their minds are Sphinx who have cranes sitting with their minds. See, here's a crane sitting with the Sphinx's mind. This is in cross. See, these are turkeys, these are cranes. Should I have drawn its tail feathers upward? See, its tail feathers are down. Should have drawn them upward maybe, huh? You cannot remember when the entrance to the day room of the homeless shelter was on the southeast corner of the building. You cannot think about when there was once a drinking fountain in the men's shower and restroom area. You don't realize it's not there anymore, and it once was. See, we had a drinking fountain in the men's restroom and shower area, and then one day it disappeared. It ellipted. It was as if it was never part of the building when it was. Our buildings can be altered. Cranes have to do with this. See, that when we build buildings, sometimes we use these big mechanical cranes. We call them cranes. I could draw a picture. Maybe I will in the next video, huh? Okay, so crazy crane birds are rascals who are vigilant with our minds also. You cannot even remember when the building was in another lot. So the building also was in a different lot. Here's the next page. Here's the country of Turkey and the country of Ukraine, the Black Sea. Have you looked at your reflection in the Black Sea? These countries have to do with the things symbolized in the NvrEndg Story. Okay, so that's enough of this letter today. I'm going to continue reading this letter in the next set of videos. But we have rascals who are sitting with our minds vigilantly, and they disable our minds, and they take our memory globes. So we have these globes and orbits and all sorts of galaxies and solar systems, and they take them. So we can't think about things. So, but, you know, whoa, Taffy, you're saying all these globes have to do with our minds and things? Well, they do. I mean, I'm going to explain this more in other videos, but how our minds are disabled is something I need to describe in these letters so that we have it in perspective. Okay, so this is very fascinating, but you need to consider, that this story is helping us to solve the mysteries of the world wars. Some of us have gone homeless, even in a way that was, it seems like it's not even a part of the world wars, but it is. See, I went homeless, and it was because we haven't been responsible with the world wars. And I'm describing how. Okay. All right.